I'm Dr. Sam and this is Dr. Sam's Health. In my previous videos I've been talking about a number of things, but primarily I've been focusing on the necessity of proper goal setting. We've been talking about smart goal setting tool, and we're talking about the necessity of your goal to be realistic and achievable. And also I've been talking about the necessity of measuring your progress. So in the end of the day, when you're setting your body transformation goal, what you need to have is you have to have a clear picture of a specific body composition that you want to achieve, which would include body fat percentage, your weight, your muscular mass, and so on. You would also need to be able to estimate your current baseline, specifically how much you weigh right now, how good or bad you look right now, what is your body fat percentage, what is your muscularity, hydration, and so on. And also you would need to be able to track your goals. So today we'll focus on the ways to track your progress. On my background you can see my website, and I'll try to put a shameless plug to it. The reason for that is not only me trying to promote it, but also this website will have some tools that I will try to show you today that will allow you to actually do some calculations related to your body fat percentage, your progress, and so on. So today I'll go over a number of methods of actually tracking your progress, and I will try to kind of rank them in the order of expensiveness, accuracy, and availability or accessibility for you. I would like to start with the very simple, very basic way of actually looking at yourself, specifically looking into a mirror. I know that many of you will say, well, what can you get from it? Can you really measure yourself? The answer is yes, you can, but the whole point of looking into a mirror is just trying to answer one question. So look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself whether you like what you see or not. If you do like what you see, most likely you don't need any guidance, any advice of mine. You're already looking great, and you don't need anything from me. But I'm pretty sure that you are not happy with what you see, and that's why you are here on this YouTube channel or on my website watching this video. That's how the journey starts for majority of us, and I would like to show you that this method is actually very valid and very useful. The very good thing about this method is that you're not only able to just to look at yourself, but also you can take a look at your pictures on Facebook or wherever you store them. You can look at yourself in retrospect and actually try to see how your body changed its shape over the course of the years, since your childhood to your current age. Also, there are ways of actually estimating your body fat percentage based on just the way you look. I'll show you in a second. It is actually very simple. All you have to do is just Google body fat percentage chart and click on images, and one of the first things you will see is something like that, which is a simple chart that contains photos or diagrams, pictures of people with different body fat percentage. You can just look at yourself and compare yourself with one of these pictures and pretty much gauge your body fat percentage using one of these charts. It's a very easy way to estimate your body fat percentage. Many of you will argue saying that, you know, it's not very accurate, and I would agree with this, but at the same time you will see later on in this video that we do have quite a few tools, and none of them is 100% accurate. They all have certain margin of error, which is not significantly less than what we have here. So this is a good start. I would encourage you to check it out and start using this method actually. So the advantage of this method is that it's very easy to use, it's available, accessible, free effectively, but most importantly you can actually use your old pictures and compare them to what you see on these charts. Also, last but not the least, I would say that for majority of us, our body transformation journey starts with actually either looking in the mirror, not liking what we are seeing, or by looking at our pictures and not being happy with the way we look on our pictures. The next very basic method of tracking your progress is, again, surprisingly simple, but a lot of people just overlook it, is checking the way your clothes fit you. You can look at your sizes and the way the clothes fit you. So when you're starting your body transformation goal, for example, you might be wearing pants of the size 36, and a couple of months later you will be able to wear pants, or when you're in a store you'll be picking pants of size 34, which will clearly say that you actually have lost a couple of inches on your waist. So it's already a good result. Again, like with the previous method, for many of us, our body transformation journey starts with that too. So we've got quite a few pieces of clothes that are not fitting us well, we are too chubby for them, we don't, again, look well on the pictures, and we want to wear these clothes because we know that we look so good in them. So that's another useful tool. The next method is something I would call an absolute must, and I believe that it's simply the optimal way of measuring your body fat percentage. Something that we call body impedance method, which is based on your body's resistance to electricity. It's obviously you would need some device to check it. There are some handheld devices, but also there are simple things called body weight scales that you can purchase, and some of the scales have body composition analysis function. The idea is that you usually barefoot, you are stepping on your scale, and the scale knows usually it asks you for your height, your age, your sex, and it knows your weight because it's a scale, but it can also run some electrical impulses through your body, and it will evaluate your body's resistance. We know that fat has pretty high resistance to electricity, whereas muscle and water, they don't. And based on specific formulas that are already computed or like put into this device, it will be able to tell you your exact body fat percentage. Some scales will tell you also your muscularity, your bone density, and so on, your hydration levels. So these tools are actually very, very useful. They are not expensive. You can spend, I don't know, $50 and get a pretty decent one. Some of them have also some sort of an extension when you are in contact with the scale, not only with your feet but also with your hands, and this device will run more elaborated algorithm and will be more precise. One additional comment regarding this body weight scale that can test your body fat percentage and body composition is that they are not always reliable. For example, I've got two scales, and one of them is consistently giving me lower body weight and higher body fat percentage compared to another. Having said that, again, this tool is very inexpensive. You can use it daily. There are no health-related problems associated with using this scale, so they're easy to use. You can do it like all day long, and all we have to do is invest in, like, I don't know, $50, $100 and maybe some money into batteries. That's it. Later on in this video I will talk about a couple of very expensive and very precise tools, but before that I would like to talk about 3 more ways of estimating your progress and checking out your physique. One thing is something called BMI, body mass index. This is a very useful tool, but it's very useful for physicians, and I'll explain why. So body mass index is calculated as your weight in kilos divided by the square of your height in meters. Assuming that you are a grown-up person and your height is not gonna change, effectively BMI means that you are just multiplying your existing weight on specific constant, which is 1 divided by the square of your height in meters. So mathematically, the BMI does not give you any additional information. You can as well use your weight as an indicator of your progress. So it's only useful for your physician who is using BMI to to actually estimate your risk of having cardiovascular disease. That's the main utility of BMI, so I would not recommend using BMI as a tool to track your progress. It's pretty much the same as your weight. The next tool is even cheaper than the scale. It's just a regular measuring tape. I've got one in my hand. I bought it for $1, and it's a lifetime investment. Nothing's going to happen with it. It's a tool that will allow you to monitor your progress in terms of your gains. So if you check your body circumferences, such as like the size of your arms, and size of your legs, your torso, your neck, you can actually be able to track your progress in terms of how much muscle you gain. Highly useful tool for that, but also there are quite a few methods of estimating your body fat percentage just using the measuring tape and certain circumferences. This method's one of the most popular or famous method is something called US Navy method. I will spare the details of calculating it, but I will highly recommend that you go on my website and check out the tool that we have for you. We've got a tool that will actually allow you to calculate your body fat percentage based on your body circumferences. So you can use a measuring tape to check certain parameters like your neck, your waist, and you'll put there your sex, and the tool will be able to calculate your body fat percentage. I'll show you how it works. So that's the main reason why I wanted my website to be on the background. So I've got my laptop in my hands, and here we've got this toolbox section where you can actually use different tools. We specifically programmed the website the way that it has these tools for you. So I'll use an imaginary male as an example. So for example, a man whose height is 72 inches, his waist is say 36 inches, and the neck is say 16 inches. So this person, you can see the result right away. It has 90% body fat. You can use this website free of charge at any time. Highly recommend you do this. Please subscribe, please visit my website. We're going to add more tools. Okay, the next method is using calipers. This method is not as simple as it seems to be. So the idea is that you can actually do this kind of pinch-like things with these calipers, and you'll be able to estimate the thickness of your skin fold, which primarily depends on the thickness of your skin, which is just a couple of millimeters, and the thickness of your subcutaneous fat layer. The good thing about this method is very accurate. The bad thing about this method, there are actually several, not really bad things, but things that make it difficult. First of all, it cannot estimate the amount of your visceral fat, the fat that surrounds your internal organs, and also it really requires a skill. So as you can see, I do have this tool, but quite honestly, I found it very difficult to use. I think it's very good for professional athletes, and it's very good when it's been done by literally a professional fitness trainer or a person who has done hundreds, if not thousands, of calipers tests in their life. I don't want to go into details on how specifically you can calculate your body fat percentage using this method. There are specific formulas, there are specific algorithms of doing so. I would say that, you know, if you're really curious about it, just buy one on Amazon, and usually it comes with a nice pamphlet that describes at least one main method of doing so, and practice a lot. So now we're getting to the, you know, really expensive and very accurate methods. I would name at least 3, and I'm pretty sure that given that they are a little bit too robust for a regular human being like me or you, you won't be able to use them too frequently unless you've got your own hospital or lab. So these methods include, I will start with one which is like literally archaic. It's a very old method. It's water submersion. So the idea is that when we take a special chamber, put a person in the water, submerge the person completely, the person displaces a certain amount of water, and we can calculate this amount of water. This amount of water will effectively show us the volume of the person. And knowing the weight of the person and the volume of the person, we can actually calculate the person's density. Literally, that's the basic physics. And using a couple of additional calculations, we can actually estimate the body fat percentage of this person. This method was used, I don't know, in 1900s, a long time ago. We've got better methods right now, and actually I don't know about any place where they would do this. Maybe in some university lab or some, again, US Navy or an Army lab where they test a lot of people. They might still have them. So this method has completely lost its utility, in my opinion, and we've got a modern version of it. Whereas instead of displacing water, you are going to displace air in, again, specifically designed chamber. And most likely you have heard about something that is called bod pod, which is, again, the chamber. Enter the chamber, you displace some air. The device analyzes your body composition using the amount of air you have displaced. This tool is available. It's a very expensive device, I guess at least several $1,000s, but it is available. I live in Oakville, travel to Toronto every day. I know at least one place where they have bod pod in Toronto. So any major city will have one, some gyms will have one, so go ahead, test. Most likely it will cost you like 20, 30, 50 bucks depending on the place, but it's a valid tool that they can use from time to time. Okay, the last method is actually, I would call it the gold standard method. It's something called DEXA. There is a very good scientific description of how it works, but it's very similar to a CT scan. So you've got an X-ray machine that goes through your body, analyzing layer by layer, and then the computer combines all this data to actually tell how much body fat you have, how much muscle you have, how much water you have, what's your bone density, and so on. This device is literally the gold standard, the most accurate way of testing your body composition in general, period. A couple of important things about this method. Again, it will cost you some money. I think that the one that they have in Toronto would cost you around $70. You also would need an appointment, and again, you would need a lab for it, and it has it's based on X-ray, so you'll receive a small dose of radiation when you are undergoing this test. I would say it won't be more than the amount of radiation you get in the airport security testing system scanners, but still I would not expose yourself to this more frequently than once in a few months. So let us summarize everything that we went over today. First, and the most important thing, you have to measure your progress somehow. It's up to you how you're going to do this, but you have to quantify your baseline, quantify your final goal, and be able to, you must be able to track your progress as you move from point A to point B on a regular basis. Second point is using a mirror or pictures and associated website information like body fat percentage charts. You can actually monitor your progress and have a good gauge of what's happening with you. This tool is not ideal, but again, psychologically, it's one of the most important items here. Point number 3 is that there are amazing tools called body weight scales with body composition analysis function, and I truly believe that if you're really serious about your body transformation, you must buy one and use it on pretty much daily basis. It's a very good tool. It might not be super accurate, but in the long run, they will give you pretty nice approximation of your progress. And you can use it daily. It's not very expensive. Point number 4, I would strongly recommend that you spend $1 or $2, purchase a measuring tape, and check your different anthropometric parameters regularly to see how much muscle you gain. And also you can, since you have it, you can also calculate your body fat percentage using some online calculators like the one that we have on my site. A little addition to point number 1 is that you might not only use your pictures as a tool to track in progress, but I would also strongly recommend that you make before and after picture. And the last point is that there are devices that can actually provide you with an absolutely reliable, accurate picture of your body composition, and I would strongly recommend that if you're very serious about your body transformation, that you undergo this kind of testing from time to time, say every 3 months or so. I hope that today's video provided you with enough information for you to be able to set your goals and to monitor your progress, and I will start working on my next video, which will be dedicated to the 3 diets that I believe that work and that make sense, at least to me, and I'll try to justify it. I will wish you all the best in your progress, in your body transformation project or goals, and I will remind you to leave comments, put likes, subscribe, because we need to see your interest, we need to get objective feedback, and we need to grow our community of people who want to transform their bodies. Okay, I will see you in my next video. All the best meanwhile.